Morning guys, welcome back to the Ahn Rho Project. This is the psychiatric self-therapeutic multimedia project to solve the problems, challenges, and obstacles in our lives, as well as the self-improvement process to reach the highest goals and ambitions that we have set for ourselves, as well as those around us. If you'd like a brief introduction, a brief summary as to how we break down the Ahn Rho Project into domains of life, sub-series analogies, and so on and so forth, you can check that out on previous live streams for the past 3.5 years, straight to January 2021 and beyond for more updated versions. That being said, let's dive into the second segment today as usual. And by the way, I forgot to mention, of course, that includes the copyright-free music, content live stream schedule, how we divvy the live stream into domains of life, sub-series analogies, as well as a 15 minutes into 3 phases, 11 segments. So the second segment, as usual, starting off with saying that there's going to be 2 live streams today. This is the first of 2. Secondly, there's going to be a solve 850 ride, a rule to break all the rules, a system principle to free myself from the system and become purely practical and get whatever most urgently needs done. And last but not least, if you'd like to skip this short and abridged introduction even by about a minute and a half into the live stream, you can do that on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, where you're watching this video on demand after the live stream ends. So take a look on screen, which is easier to get. The content on the left hand panel, phase 2 items. Phase 3 on the right hand side is the physical portion of life. Digital aspects on the left, the abstract versus the tangible. So you can see on the left a lot of photography about and screenshots about videos, toxic relationships like narcissism, mooncake festival, dinner, food, beef, meat, all sorts of stuff like that. And of course on the right hand panel we have some physical things that we can get through probably very quickly. I say phase 3, but maybe I should switch it around. I'll take care of this stuff first, probably. Don't know. Alright, so let's just get through the collage first. On the top left hand corner, let's expand this up. So you can see at the very top here we have some stuff regarding some food that I'm eating that I purchased for somebody else. Those are the crackers. We have some Facebook messages and notifications. Sometimes you get my cousins, so happy birthday to somebody there. We'll get to that in a moment. We have some news regarding China, Taiwan, the relationship between them. Also some videos here from Dr. Romani. So D, thank you so much, Dr. Romani, for helping me through the understanding of narcissism and what I should do about it. But then again, I've done a lot of that myself as well. But nevertheless, there's a great video here, and there's a bunch of comments over there, people interacting with her. We also have some animations. That's what you see in the bottom left-hand corner. There's a new animation sorry, I keep saying animation, but basically it has very good animation. That's what it's. The cinematography is really good in this particular one, and it's newly released on Crunchyroll. Didn't know what it was, but I thought the trailer was worth mentioning. And then we have here in the very bottom, we have something to do with conversations, relationships, because it's a media asset. Obviously, you can see the bottom, and on the right hand side, some playlists for music. Continuing on off of this collage is also the next collage behind it. It's really just it's just a continuation. So you can see that at the very top there's some paper there having to do with my intramuscular injection. Basically, I got my shots, double shots for COVID-19. We got also the and I had to print it out because of the whole passing. So we'll get to that in a moment. We got the mooncake festival, but basically I received this from my landlord. So this is like a gift, item, class for item. Thank you to her so much. MS, I'll say MS. Very kind grandmotherly figure. And then we have here. Even for my own guardians, she's like an aunt, in a sense. She's really been taking care of my own guardians, because my guardians are like little children. Okay, on the very top here, they're improving. They're so much better than they used to be. At the very top here we have like food that I ironically received from my guardians, so I'd be thankful for them as well. So that's some quinoa here, some beef, onions, green onions. We have some things I received from my colleagues at workplace. So ML, thank you to ML, just amazing person in general. I will talk a little bit about that, what I gave her, and then she gave me these granola bars as well as tangerines. And then here's again the deltoid injection, the vaccination receipt. You have to show it due to public health regulations. And then at the very bottom, having to do with university and philosophy. So over here, graduate studies, engineering, my alma mater, as well as philosophy here, having to do with both the pleasures like sex as well as more purposeful, meaningful kind of stuff like death and life. And on the right hand corner we have some food here that we're trying to get rid of from almost 2 days ago. So clearly it's a huge hodgepodge of stuff, and once we're done this in phase 2, we're going to move to the last portion of phase 2, hopefully, if we have a chance, to cover a little bit of the inventory of finances and health. And then we're going to dive into this portion, which is all the physical stuff we just get rid of, which is largely garbage from food, as well as some paperwork that I just want to mention. So lots to cover, lots and lots to cover. We start off with phase 2, segment 4 and 5. So we start off here, 1 and 2. So you can see the audio recordings, like I mentioned. Maybe 2 or 3 different key conversations I want to mention. First of all, having, yesterday, sort of one thing I got in touch with one person is my landlord. She came back from trying to take care of, I believe it's her daughter-in-law. Anyways, the point is she's having a very difficult time because her daughter-in-law is very, very sick. I'm not going to mention who that is or what that is, privacy, confidentiality, but the point is she was very open to me, and she didn't know that I knew. And so I kind of misspoke there, but basically we had a little bit of interaction there, and I tried to cheer her up, and she gave me this green cake. So there was a little bit of interaction there. We also had a little bit of, I believe, a conversation with somebody else that I can't remember exactly. It was probably at the workplace. I'll just say that overall, yesterday at the workplace was much, much better than the previous day. So it was like an improvement, got that lows and highs of relationships. Well, there are 25 people within my department, which I treat like my own family, and they try to treat me like their family. And so it's just been a much more of a greater upswing yesterday, so that's great. So I can probably put that to the side. We also have, obviously, in segment 4 or 5, relationships and media assets, so that includes the live stream, which you're watching right now. If you see in the title, there's a whole bunch of different stuff in the title. It says like toxic love, so we're going to get to narcissism. We're going to talk about Facebook messages between me and my cousins, who are great. They're amazing people. But toxic narcissism comes from my domestic guardian, so we're going to talk about that as well. So we also have some food, we have meat, treats like that, more lighthearted stuff. Then we have more interesting things, having the news, so it's just a whole bunch of stuff. That's what's in the live stream title. Get rid of that. Let's move over to segment 6. We're going to have a lot of items for segment 6. We're going to start off here, as usual, with historic reflections and school of life London. So very rarely, this is the first time I put something kind of lusty on my live streams ever, but it's sex from School Life London and death from Stoic Reflections. So we'll start with Stoic Reflections because it's the more philosophical. It's like the figurative father of my life, whereas compassion, part of philosophy, is like psychiatry, or the figurative mother of my life, because I don't have any proper parents. So it is not death that a man should fear, but that he should fear never beginning to live. And by Marcus Aurelius. So obviously you can take your own interpretations from this, but it's fairly straightforward. And then over here, School of London, commenting on sex, at the very comment at the bottom here says, sex will always be too potent and radical for it to be called normal. It is inherently transgressive. I don't really know what they're trying to get to immediately, but I think they're trying to talk about culture here for a second. So anyways, that's just a quick notice. Of course, School Life London, Stoic Reflections, this kind of stuff on Instagram is not my stuff. This is copyright notice here. Same thing here with University of Waterloo Engineering. We have this graduate studies fair. There's another kind of can't find it. Here we go. These two here. So this is a little poster on graduate engineering. I believe it says right here, first year in ECE. I remember being in that faculty, walking through that faculty and their buildings. Anyways, hoping to shed light on the potential use of therapeutic ultrasound to deliver drugs and ultimately help relieve the unfortunate side effects of chemotherapy. So she's working on great stuff, but basically she's like the poster child of this particular program here, or promotional thing for masters and a PhD students. So anyways, that's another thing that popped up on the Instagram thing, and these are pretty much like the only 3 things I follow on Instagram anyways, because I don't use Instagram in general aside from uploading these live streams. So that's that. Copyright notice, not my shit, not my stuff. Moving on, what else do we have that's kind of like paperwork? We have this here. So dosage, 0.5 mils, site right deltoid, you have received 2 valid doses administered by a doctor specifically. So once again, here's in French, seul des doses valides. So, once again, it's just all the vaccination, and I had to get a printout of that because, especially here, common side effects include pain, redness. The point is, I need this kind of printout before I can eat outside, or go into like a gym or so. I don't go to gym, but like if I go eat in a restaurant, I'll have to present this slip now, because it's now a mandatory part of eating outside at any diner, any eatery, any sort of recreational activity. You have to present that, and I can show you in phase 3 right now. there's this little slip here I printed out, so that's basically my confirmation of 2 doses. So it's just a government thing that may not be relevant to your area, but that is relevant in mine. Speaking of phase 3, we're going to bridge into phase 3 right now. We only have 5 minutes left. There's some trash here I want to mention. There's these crackers that I have to throw away. No, I'm eating them right now. We have some walnuts here. We have these moon cakes we're going to touch upon. So this is all trash. I had to throw it away, except for the slip here, which I'm going to keep. I'm probably going to place it over here in region A5, next to the paperwork, so we'll get to it. And then there's here, we're just going to put break up the boxes, flatten them down, put the packaging within the packaging, and toss it to recycling. So let's get back to phase 2, segment 6. What else do we have digital stuff? So more fun stuff now. We're moving to fun stuff. So the moment you think you're hot shit, this is what's the name? The name of this anime that they kind of showed on Crunchyroll says, the moment you think you're hot shit, tact OP Destiny. Anyways, I just watched the trailer. It's amazing. Look at that. It's like classic 70s disco kind of. They have such great cinematography in there. The way they pan out the zoom, the camera, and stuff like that. It's really nice. And then we want to move on to more videos. So this one's going to do with narcissism. So Dr. Ramani talking about mid-scale, mid-range narcissists, which both of them were my guardians. So that's my biological mother and father. And of course, it's a very difficult thing to describe. Someone who pulls out the mask when they get into the car and falls into a pit of rage and wrath, of pettiness, self-entitlement, constantly putting other people down to put themselves up. Imagine having that as your parents. It's very destructive. So basically that's that, and here are some comments here. Does not refer to any specific person, should not be used to lay down allegations. There are a lot of people here saying, describe my relationship with my husband. Exactly, spent years blaming myself, heavy therapy, many years. Once again, lots of people here commentating. Enough good days to confuse you, enough bad days to break your heart. Describes the mid-scale narcissist, grandiose and vulnerable. What a couple, man, what a couple. Okay, moving on. So in addition to that, talk about relationships here. Now these are positive ones. So this is between me and my cousins, and my cousins basically spammed the shit out of my other cousin JC. So I mean JL. Happy birthday to JL. They just all these emojis and stuff like that. So happy birthday to them. That's very positive, right? That's really sweet. Over here we have some more, segment 6 stuff. So basically I found out that I have 4 new views. I rarely get views on the pages because I'm clearly not seeking anything like that on this channel. I'm just trying to solve my own personal problems and challenges and live up to my own expectations right now. So it's not, I'm surprised to see that there are any views, but there were 4 people drop by, or at least 1 person dropped by 4 times. I don't know what that means, but hey, that's great. So moving on to a little bit of news now, and then we're going to move to segment 7, which is food or photography. So Harvard's latest remarks were less inflammatory than comments during the 100th anniversary of Chinese CCP. So obviously this is talking about Chinese president vows for reunification of Taiwan by Pete. The only reason I'm mentioning this is because it popped out on my feed, not my feed, but just on the homepage. And and then there are people commenting here suppression of the very productive element of Chinese people living there. Communists too stupid to ever. Okay, so you know what? People have their opinions here, and you can take whatever side you want. Basically, I'm running through all this kind of stuff and saying that this happened to be what I saw this morning, which isn't the most positive thing for the newsfeed, is it? All right, we're done. All that kind of stuff. Let's cover food. So in the previous day, we have a lot of food in the last minute and a half. Mushrooms, chicken wings, carrots, green onions. So basically, this is domestic guardians cooking. So this is my thank you to TT, my domestic guardians, my biological father, for cooking this up. Also, these it's abalone. So abalone was what you call that? Just leafy greens. So choy sum. Basically in Cantonese, I'm talking. Bao yu don't like choy sum. And then we have stuff over on the left-hand side corner here with the dish with the lid on. After that, we have the mooncakes, like I said, I received from my residency, my landlord. So this is a double egg yolk white lotus paste from Casa Imperial Fine Chinese Cuisine. So really class 4 item there as opposed to class 2. Like these beef and green onions and quinoa, this stuff. Again, the home cooking is from my guardians, so it's class 2 in nature. Compare that to the mooncakes, which are class 4 in nature. They are gifts I received from my landlords and so on and so forth. So Casa Imperial Fine Cuisine, and again the beef, noodles, onions from my guardians. Also drank some onion juice, orange juice from onion juice. What the fuck? From my guardians. And last but not least, some of these tangerines and granola bars from ML my colleague at the workplace. So thank you very much, and we're going to continue this live stream later on in the day when we make some new purchase. We're going to go out and get some like a heater and so on and so forth. So I'll see you then. This is Ahn signing out. Peace.